Welcome to the Keelhauled podcast. I'm your host, CaptainLogun, and we've got a lot of Sea of Thieves news to cover today, so tie yourselves to the mast and hold fast. Ahoy there, pirates. I hope you're having a great time sailing the Seven Seas, and I know it's been a while since I've posted a podcast, but there's been a lot going on, and I've wanted to spend some time to really kind of analyze how I feel about this. I've heard your feedback, and I'm going to be talking a lot about the Pirate Legends stuff today, as well as some other things that have been going on in the community. So if you have not heard, yes, we have our first pirate legend in the game. His name is Prodigy X. He is a streamer, and he's had a lot of people helping him out to get to that level so quickly. So we're going to be talking a lot about the contention about whether or not he deserves to be pirate legend, or whether or not Rare should take action to revoke his status. First on today's docket, I just want to cover a couple quick things that I realized. Founder sales are now going out with the titles. They should be coming in your Xbox message app, so make sure you're checking that. I know we got the email a while back letting us founders know that we're going to be getting those sales. If you haven't gotten it yet and you're listening to this on the 20 or on the April Fool's Day, just hold off for a little bit. Give it some time. I haven't gotten mine yet, but I know plenty of people that have. So hang on to it. If you need to send in a message to Microsoft or Rare to see about getting that code, it should be coming through the Xbox app. Second on today's docket, I'm going to be letting you know that a while back, I talked about the fact that I had found some hackers in the game, and I didn't really like that. And I'm really glad to hear that Rare has actually gone through and done some waves of bans targeted at some of these hackers. So I'm glad to see that action is being taken to make sure that these guys aren't ruining our community as it is, because it's not any fun to sail around and feel like you're taking out ships and you're killing people, and then to come across one person who just wants to ruin the day by not letting you kill them when you've successfully outgunned them. So glad to see this is taking action real quick. It was not even a weekend that we started dealing with this, but it's really good to see that they want to make sure that people playing this game have an equal opportunity to kill each other, to take each other's chests, to be able to do everything that a pirate should be able to do without having to worry about someone breaking the code to give themselves godlike powers. The third item on today's docket, I want to just talk about some of the things that we've learned from Rare's tweets in the last week or so. They've been talking a lot about how they want to increase ship distance and how that's being evaluated, because as it stands, and I've talked a lot about this, ships are spawning way too close to where they died, not giving the victors an opportunity to really take advantage of their prowess, their pirating prowess. Because if you go out there and you best another ship, you should be rewarded. It should not be a game of fatigue where all you're doing is just trying to outlast. And I have a little personal story about this, because last night I was up for hours trying to get another fort, and it was another situation where it was 4 crews battling it out to try and get this skeleton fort. And eventually I was doing so poorly because I was on a solo sloop and the other sloops were duos and the other galleon was a 4 crew, that I just gave up. And I planned something special for these guys. And if you saw my Twitter, you might have already hinted at what has actually been going on with that. The point is that these guys would die, they would respawn, and then they would sail all the way back to the fort and start going at it. And there was only one time at the very end that I think a galleon crew that would have actually beaten a sloop team could have gotten the actual fort. And I was hoping that the sloop team would work wouldn't, because they were actually a lot easier for me to take out afterwards than for me to try and take on a galleon. So the fort was finished and everyone was fighting each other to get loot. And the galleon had spawned not that far by. And as they were sailing back, I kid you not, they got attacked by Karen the Kraken. And they used every single one of their cannonballs to defeat Karen the Kraken. And then Karen the Kraken hung out for a little bit after they finally sailed. But by the time they had gotten back to the fort, they didn't have any supplies to be able to take out the tiny sloop. And then eventually the tiny sloop bested the galleon, and the galleon managed to kill the crew and then used a powder keg to blow up the sloop, causing the sloop to have to sail back eventually. And by the time they sailed back, the galleon didn't have any supplies, so they actually had to scuttle their ship. And at that point, they gave up. But they had a lot of their loot already on the ship. And when they scuttled, all of their loot had glitched and you couldn't get it. So the sloop had to go onto shore and get what little things they could to get back. And they actually scavenged the island mostly for gunpowder kegs to be able to turn in at this point, because so much of the fort loot had been lost to the sea that by the time they got back to the outpost where I had been sitting without a ship and one gunpowder keg the whole time, they made it there. They turned in all their kegs, and then they had one villainous skull, and that was all that was left from the fort. And the dude was running up to go turn it in, and I was hiding behind a building, and as soon as he ran up, I shot the gunpowder keg with my sniper rifle. He blew up. I ran out, grabbed the skull and turned it in, turned around and shot the other dude in the face with a blunderbuss, and then logged out for the night because it was about 4 a.m. at that point. But let's just say at this point, ship distance is still a big issue, and I'm really glad that they're taking to Twitter to let us know that they are actually going to be looking at increasing the ship distance. Now, that's not the only problem that we're having. They wanted to implement that death cost, and they retracted that. So what I suggest to you guys, what Rare, is take into consideration how other video games are implementing death and death respawn. In most multiplayer shooters, it's a constant certain number, but in MMOs, you typically get penalized either by a repair cost or an increase in death timer, or both, depending on the situation. And what I think they should do is, I think that the more times you die in a certain amount of time, you should have a 30-second increase to death. And I'm sorry if I talked about this on other podcasts, but I just want to make sure that it gets out there. We should have an increased death timer up to a certain minute cap, so that if you continue to die and die and die, especially if you're trying to solo a fort, and you keep dying to the skeletons and you keep cheesing it essentially so that you can one-man solo a fort by using tactics based around the AI of the skeletons, and you do happen to die, that eventually your death timer should hit 2 or 3 minutes. You have to sit there and wait before you can respawn as punishment for repeatedly dying and not besting the fort or finding another crew or just trying to, like, I get that you want to do it alone, but you should be really damn good at taking forts if you're going to try and take it alone. And at that point, I think that the death increase timer is going to help with griefing, because eventually people will get bored, especially if you're killed multiple times and you have to wait. Yeah, it does suck for the person who's being camped, but eventually that person is not going to have you come back. And at that point, they're going to get bored and leave. I know I got almost bored of sitting around waiting for these galleons to constantly be coming back and fighting the sloops and trying to get... I mean, I was sitting there with a spyglass on an island staring at this from afar for hours. The only highlight I got was the fact that Karen decided to really screw over the galleon by attacking the galleon as it was on its way to go take out the sloop. That was the only perk I got out of it. That and killing the one dude holding the one piece of loot they got from that fort after savagely battling for it. So those two things, they're looking at ship distance. I want them to look at increased death timers just to make sure that it's less of an incentive for people to grief because they know the person isn't going to come back as soon, and for other people to be rewarded for being better at being a pirate. All right. The fourth item on today's docket is going to cover probably one of the biggest points of contention in the Sea of Thieves community right now, and that is going to be pirate legend and what it means to be a pirate legend. Is it the person that grinds everything out themselves alone? Or does it mean the person that can clear pirate fort or skeleton forts the fastest? Or does it mean someone getting boosted up with the help of their community? Or does it mean someone that is account sharing so that there can be someone grinding on the same account 24/7 till they get it? I really am curious to know what people's concept of pirate legend is, because I'm not unfamiliar to character boosting and account sharing in other games. I'm used to seeing that, and it's not something that other companies are looking at and saying, yeah, that is a break in terms of service to share your account. So if that is proven, then yes, that account should get banned. But character boosting is not something that I'm aware of that is against the terms of service or the ULA. EULA. So if someone is boosting and they have the community to do it, then that is an option. Now, whether it's ethical or honorable, that is a completely different story, and that's always subject to community scrutiny. And Rare has actually, Joe Neat has tweeted that they are discussing this, that we should be getting a response to this in the coming week, as well as some feedback highlights that they want to talk about, things they're going to be doing for the game. I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I feel about this. Do I think Prodigy deserves to get Pirate Legend? Do I think it should be revoked? Do I think he should be immortalized in the game? Now, if it wasn't him, it would have been somebody else, but it happened to be a streamer, and it happened to be someone that was actually playing through the game who happened to have a very large community. And that community decided upon themselves to support Prodigy and giving him the reputation to see him get to Pirate Legend. And I've actually seen some people who have very high level reputation levels right now that are very close to hitting Pirate Legend, and compared the number of chests they've turned in, the number of skeleton forts they've turned in, the distance they've traveled on the ocean, all the different stats or metrics that are recorded through Xbox profiles. And I'll let you know right now, Prodigy versus the other guys are very similar into stats. These guys have all done about the same amount of stuff to hit Pirate Legend or get very close to hitting Pirate Legend. So it's definitely clear that he has put in his time. The difference is that he's had people sharing their loot to give him the ability to get to Pirate Legend faster, because they wanted to see it. Everyone wanted to see it. Everyone wanted to know how to get to Athena's Fortune, what the loot was, what the customizations were. Everyone wanted to see that end game content, because they thought that was where a lot more was going to be found with the game. And people are already saying that this game doesn't have enough content. And do I agree? Partially, yeah. I think there should be a lot more skins. I think there should be a lot more customizations. I think there should be color wheels for the different sails and the different ship hulls and stuff. I'd love to be able to change that stuff and be able to pay a certain amount of gold to do so. So if you think that Prodigy is not your Pirate Legend, you have every single right to believe that. You don't have to support him. Did he work hard and have help from the community? Yes. Does that mean that I think that he is the one that I would say is my Pirate Legend? No, I think I've got another Pirate Legend in mind. It's either myself, because of all the stuff that I experience and the stuff that I go through, and I know that eventually I will hit that 50-50-50, and I will go sing that song in the tavern and be able to get into Athena's Fortune. That's who my Pirate Legend is. It's myself, and I think you should be your own Pirate Legend as well, and not worry about who the first Pirate Legend is, who the second Pirate Legend is. I guarantee you right now, nobody cares about the second Pirate Legend and how they got there. Nobody. Everyone just wants to get on Prodigy X's case about it. And he's taken a lot of flack in his stream for it, and he's been pretty cool about it. He's had a good set of community modders who are staying on top of people who are just giving him a lot of grief that don't need to. He doesn't need that. He's just trying to play the game he loves, and he's just using another method that people could be using as well to get to Pirate Legend. Yes, he did jump instances to do Skelly's Forts for a while. Yes, he did go out and just grind a bunch of legends. And what he's been doing with his time since then has been taking community members that are part of his community down to go actually check out the Pirate Legend tavern. He's been giving them Pirate Legend quests. He'll join their group, he'll drop a quest, they'll do it, and then they'll go off and do their Pirate Legend. I don't know if that necessarily works as far as the loot goes, but he's really trying to share his Pirate Legend status with other people. And I think that is a step going in the right direction for how he got Pirate Legend. Alright, so now that I've gotten how I feel about Pirate Legend out of the way, I want to talk a little bit about some of the spoiler stuff that comes with being a Pirate Legend. So, if you don't want to be clued into this, I'm going to let you know right now, this is the last major news point that I'm going to be talking about. So, it's okay if you want to shut this off and skip over to the next episode. I'll front load all the major important news as always in the front, and then I'll keep all the spoiler stuff towards the end. One little bit that I will say right before I go into spoiler territory, thank you to all of my community that have been supporting me in my podcast. I love doing this stuff for you guys. I really do. It's been a blast hearing from you, to hear what kind of reputation levels you have, and to know that you are working towards your own legend. And you guys have been telling me some great stories, and it feels like everyone is somewhere between 20 to 30 as far as your reputation levels, and that's awesome. I know I've been up in the 27, and I think 23 for mine right now, so I'm trying to boost everyone up by throwing down my voyages to help kind of give you better loot as well too. So keep helping each other, keep sailing together. Let's keep this community very positive. And thank you again to all of my pirates who are giving me feedback, letting me know how the show is doing, what they like, what they don't like, see if I can help kind of cater this a little bit more to what you guys want, because it's not just about what I want with this, it's also about what you want too. So let me know what you think. You can always hit me up. Twitter at CAPT_LOGUN. I've been still having a lot of trouble with Twitter, or with Twitch, but you guys have been very kind to give me as much information about what I can do and tweak. I feel like it's just something that's going on with my ISP. I can't do anything about that unless I want to spend an extra $40 a month to try and get a better upload speed. So it's kind of a bummer. I'm probably not going to be streaming just because I'm so disheartened by it. But if you want to email me, you can email me to CAPTLOGUN@gmail.com. I got one last week. I won't read it, but he was very nice to let me know what's going on and give me some feedback. I definitely appreciate that, as well as some of the Twitter followers who've been letting me know what they think of the show. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to sailing with you on the seas. All right, pirates. If you're still with me, then we're going to get into some spoilers. And I love seeing all this stuff. It was amazing. Oh, I can't wait to hit Pirate Legend to be able to try and work towards this. We learned some crucial information. First off, once you become Pirate Legend, you do go talk to that mysterious stranger in the tavern, and they have not said that they are a ghost, but I still believe them to be a ghost. They will then give you clothes to be a Pirate Legend, which is a great set of purple decked out gear with chains and flares, all kinds of awesome stuff. And they will give you a new shanty, and this shanty is just for accessing the Pirate Legend Tavern. And the Pirate Legend Tavern is actually a hidden staircase in every single tavern, and each tavern has a slightly different entryway to get to it. Once you go down into that, you're actually going to be taken to a waterfall portal, and that's the waterfall that you'll actually be bursting through once you get into Athena's fortune and bursting out of it to get out of Athena's fortune. In Athena's fortune, we found Blind Bob. It's amazing. The dude is dead, unfortunately, but he is in there and you can chat with him. There's also quite a few people that are actually playing music in there. There's some future updates coming with customizations that are going to be at the deck, or the harbor inside there. And the Pirate Legend himself is actually sitting in there, the Ghost King. He is there to give you quests for the new Athena's Fortune reputation. And this is a reputation that I believe goes from 1 to 10, and that this reputation will give you better voyages. And as soon as you open up one of these voyages, it's actually going to be a full ring of quests, and it's going to be different quests. You're going to have Gold Diggers, you're going to have Order of Souls, you're going to have Merchant Alliance. And that's fine. And these chests, there's specific Pirate Legend chests that you can get that once you dig up has the opportunity to give you items and customizations. And I haven't seen anything yet, anything specific, but it's good to know that there is a better chest out there that will give you an opportunity to get items. And that chest is just like every other chest. So if you happen to see Prodigy out there in his Order of Souls ship, you can hop on there, try and find a chest. If you make it off and steal it, then that thing is yours. You're golden. But if you don't, know that eventually when you hit that Pirate Legend, you're going to be able to get it yourself. We also found out something very interesting about these quests. Pirate Legend is a step up. It's not just going and sailing and getting more fetch quests. Pirate Legend status now says that whenever you jump on an island, guess what? You're going to have buddies. And those buddies are going to claw their way out of the ground. They're going to be out for your blood, and they will be unrelenting. That's right. If you're out there trying to dig up a treasure chest, congratulations. You're going to have skeletons spawning on a constant basis trying to kill you. So I highly recommend your pirate status go out there with a full crew, because you're going to need that help to be able to keep people killing skeletons while others are trying to hunt down those chests. It looks rough. The little bit that I saw Prodigy playing with his crew, they were constantly running around in circles around Crooked Mast to get one chest. And that one chest, they knew where it was. It eventually took them about 15 to 20 minutes just to get one chest. It wasn't even that good. It was a Marauder's chest. So, Pirate Legend comes with some caveats. You're going to be hunted by the undead and by your fellow pirates. I did mention that there are going to be some new items. Some of the quick things that we did find out about is a beautiful set of ghost garbs. Things that make you look like you are a ghost. It's really awesome, especially the eye patch and the peg leg. The peg leg is actually split very much in the same way that the mast on the ferryman's boat is, so that it's just kind of floating in midair. And the eye patch glows, so it looks like you have this magical void in your eye. It's amazing looking. So that's really awesome. I'm looking forward to getting that. I'm also really interested to see what eventually comes out of those cursed Pirate Legend chests. So it's going to be a while still. I'm working towards it. I'm hoping to hit 30 this weekend if possible. But if you want to sail with me and you listen through all of this, feel free to hit me up. My Xbox Gamertag is CaptainLogun. That's Captain Logun, all one word, no spaces, just spelled out with a U in the weird part of the Logan, because that's just who I am, as always. All right, pirates, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you again for making it through all of this. I really love you guys. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to talk with you again. If you want to join me over on Discord as well, I would love to have some more conversation in there. It's a good place to kind of chat about different things and find other people to sail with as well, too. So I hope you have a good week, and I look forward to sailing with you on the 7 Seas.